While the motorbike race is going on, a corpse of a woman in an ambulance suddenly turns into a demoniac and starts slaughtering the race staff before taking control of an ambulance and attacking several competitors. One of the racer's motorcycle star Gerd Frenson faces off against the demoniac, but an unknown being in a blue Blast Raider form appears and kills the demoniac. Though Gerd is safe and in shock from what he saw, he still crashes and sustains spinal injury. He is hospitalized for a while and thinks of giving up, but his friend and ex-partner, Herman, scolds him for thinking so. Herman was a junior in the same racing team 5 years ago, but Gerd fired him for being naive and uncompetitive since the racing world will soon be hit by changes in regulations. Herman is now in a special police force known as r0tting and is thankful for Gerd's advice. That's why he doesn't want him to quit right now. A few weeks later, Gerd has been discharged from hospital. He makes a surprise visit to his team, but he discovers that he is being dropped from the team and Igor will take his place. Some time later, a mysterious doctor, Beatrice Gries, offers Gerd an experimental drug that would allow him to get back on his feet. Gerd returns home and more bad news awaits. His girlfriend, Jill, has left him. During an r0tting-led operation to track down a demoniac hiding in an industrial complex, their plan to bait and lure it into a car filled with explosives failed because demoniac fused with the detonator. So Herman and Amanda had to leave to put an end to it, but Amanda is taken hostage by the demoniac. Herman can't risk shooting her even if she tells him to, but a Blast Raider appears and destroys the demoniac. r0tting officers, Herman and Amanda, are shocked to see the Blast Raider transform into Gerd, who has fully recovered his ability to walk. Beatrice Gries seems satisfied with the results of her experiment. r0tting begins to conduct surveillance on Gerd after discovering that he has demoniac powers. Herman is very much against this. He believes Gerd isn't bad and demoniac only form from corpses. Later, Herman talks to Gerd and hopes he can tell him everything to clear up the misconception. However, Gerd won't and assures he is not a monster and will not attack a human. Another report of a demoniac is spotted. r0tting go into action, but it seems Herman brings Gerd into the fray to prove he isn't a monster. Gerd easily destroys the demoniac, but this didn't do any good to Herman. Herman is scolded for doing something reckless that endangered the team. Amanda tells about that blue demoniac she saw at the race. Since it vanished, it could mean that blue demoniac turned back into a human and blended with the crowd. So it could be that Gerd might not be the first living thing to become demoniac. Gerd is now all over the papers because of his elimination of demoniacs. The public now believes Gerd is their savior and protests his home imprisonment. Later that night, Gerd heads back to meet his ex-girlfriend Jill, but sees her in the arms of his manager Matthew, who says that he'd been planning to drop Gerd from the team even before his accident. Enraged, Gerd transforms into his demoniac form and almost strangles Jill before Matthew stabs him, and the r0tting officers arrive. Herman and Amanda are here to stop him. Herman is disappointed as Gerd escapes. Gerd flees on his motorcycle, but is pursued by the blue demoniac who defeats him. He thinks Gerd is another failure, but he has to escape since r0tting is here. Gerd escapes and is then chased by Herman. Gerd's mind is all over the place and is going crazy, and due to the lack of control over his demoniac power, Gerd crashes off a cliff, and his motorcycle is destroyed in an explosion. Despite efforts to locate Gerd's possible corpse, the r0tting only find his ruined motorcycle. As a precaution, r0tting isolate Jill and Matthew after their contact with Gerd's demoniac form and continue the search for the blue demoniac, who is declared a high-priority target by Wolf, the team leader and field commander of r0tting. Amanda looks into the surveillance cameras of the protest crowd to find that blue demoniac. She recognizes him there but is also surprised to see her younger brother, Malik, among the crowd. Meanwhile, Amanda's brother Malik is being mocked by delinquents and being branded as a demon as they believe this demoniac disease comes from his country. The bullies only back off because Joseph Jobson rides by and gives them a piercing stare. Back home, Amanda tries to talk to Malik about his problems. He won't say but still believes that Gerd is a hero, unlike the public now viewing him as a demon. While Matthew is showing signs of hallucination, there is nothing on Jill, so she is released. When she is interviewed by the media, she badmouths Gerd. This doesn't sit well with Herman, so he is going to make that woman spill the beans tomorrow. He does so, and Jill continues to say Gerd is a violent man. Luckily, Amanda and Alvin, who are on duty to watch Jill, stop him before Herman gets violent on her. Amanda handed Herman a letter from her brother Malik to give to Gerd. Then Matthew turns into a demoniac from exposure to Gerd's blood when he stabbed Gerd. As predicted, he is heading to Jill's place. The blue demoniac Joseph Jobson pursues him, but they are both hit by r0tting rockets. However, Matthew survived the blast and goes back to Jill's house. Unfortunately, he is ambushed by the r0tting. Matthew is begging for his life and thinks they're going to kill him anyway, so his obvious thinking is to kill them first. Now a full demoniac, he attacks, but luckily Joseph again attacks Matthew, and this time he finally destroys him, before disappearing into the wind. Jill is safe, but she has a blood on her face. The town is under lockdown when multiple demoniacs appear in several town blocks and attack armed policemen. Amanda then stumbles into Joseph, but before she could ask for identification, reports of a couple of demoniacs going berserk nearby. Aaliyah is an AI who informs Joseph of possible demoniac outbreaks. She tries to convince Joseph that this might be a trap, but Joseph didn't listen. Meanwhile, Malik meets Johan and realizes this is a trap. The bullies set Johan to beat up Malik, so can join their group and also pressured by them. Joseph intervenes in his Blast Raider form and chases down the demoniacs. But some XAT operatives they think Joseph responsible for massacring policemen when they arrive late on the scene. They fire to keep him busy while the sniper prepares to take the shot. A direct hit. But Joseph digs out the special tracking bullet and then escapes. As Amanda investigates the scene further, she realizes Joseph could have been protecting a citizen buried under the rubble. Had he dodged, the sniper's bullet may have hit them. At the same time, Joseph prevented the blood from spilling over the victim. Cause Amanda Werner to question whether Joseph is really XAT's enemy. Meanwhile, Jill's condition from contact with Jared's blood becomes worse, forcing Wolf to have her heavily sedated. Jared survived his crash and is seen killing a motorcycle-possessed demoniac out on the highway. However, he has confusing visions and problems managing his demoniac form. As Malik cleans himself up, an injured Joseph collapses before him. Igor, who is Jared's replacement, is taking a night practice. He is upset that many view him as secondary as he has been riding under Jared's shadow for so long. Jared appears on the racetrack. Igor thinks he is trying to kill him like he did to Matthew, but Jared just rides past him. Apparently Igor didn't take this too kindly and tries to ram him off the track. Naturally, he crashes. Later, on TV, he accuses Jared of trying to kill him. Meanwhile, Malik finds the injured Joseph and treats his wound. Jill is being transferred under XAT escort as precaution against an attack from Jared. However, somebody leaked info, and they know the real moment Jill is transferred out. Just proceed as planned. But then Jill turns into a demoniac and attacks the escort team. Jared confronts and kills the demoniac Jill while under the eye of the media, and in his confusion, he takes out the media chopper flying overhead and retaliates when the XAT forces attack him. Herman finally reaches through to him, and Jared returns to his human form. He hands over Malik's letter and reminds him he is still a hero. Jared angrily takes off, knowing that he isn't the hero that some people think he is anymore. Amanda notes that Jared's heart has not fully turned evil yet. Herman is being quarantined and under surveillance as there are fears he might become a demoniac. While the media continues to paint Jared as dangerous, Malik continues to believe in him and believes he will bring justice to bad guys. Later, Joseph confronts Jared, both in their demoniac forms, but after Joseph reveals his human form, Jared asks Joseph to do him a small favor. At home, Amanda is about to confront Malik about his frequent absences from school when Herman arrives and asks Malik to go with him and help reason with his idol, Jared. Herman and Malik meet Jared and they reminisce the old days, Malik wanting a handshake from his idol. Jared is grateful that he is the only fan who believes in him. Jared and Herman decide to race for old times through the mountain pass, watched by Joseph. During the race, Jared imagines that Herman is a demoniac and forces him to crash. As Jared succumbs to the demonic side of the Blast Raider form, seeing everyone as demoniacs, that is when Joseph moves in to try and stop him. Last night's talk with Joseph, Jared told him he sees everything as demoniac and doesn't want to return to that form. In the end, Jared restrains himself enough to let Joseph kill him. Herman becomes distraught as his best friend dies before his eyes. But for Malik, he is now disappointed that Jared is not the hero he thought he was and just a coward. Herman is allowed to keep Jared's ashes. He is then detained and suspended but is given a task to check those who attended that race and pinpoint the suspect. Meanwhile, those bullies are outside Johan's home and calling him out. They even bullied his Johan mom and siblings. Those jerks. I hate bullies. I want to bury them alive. Amanda returns home and Malik's still not home. Remembering that Johan gave her something for Malik, she reads it. Looks like an apology to Malik and how he isn't strong enough and is going to run away. Amanda knows what this means, so she rushes over to his house. However, it's too late. Johan commits suicide, feeling guilty over attacking Malik to avoid being beaten by the bullies himself. Oddly, Malik got this news from some random guy talking in the streets about a kid committed suicide. Excuse for Johan to head over to the morgue and break down seeing his dead best friend. Amanda realizes that she needs to do more or Malik could be next. Malik begins to lose faith in God for the unfair treatment of Johann and his family and doesn't believe Amanda's promise to protect him. But she promises she'll protect him and also God is watching over them. Tomorrow morning, Amanda and Malik see the school principal bribes Johann's mom to keep quiet about his death from bullying. Apparently, they can't risk their school's reputation, and the bully's parents have high social standing. Amanda wants to do something about it, but Johann's mom begs not to. She can't risk losing her other kids. Just then, r0tting receive a mysterious disc that shows Joseph's face. Now they go all out to hunt him down. Great timing, those small-minded bullies is outside the house of Johann and pointing to Malik that he is next. Later, Beatrice appears to Malik and offers him the same pill she gave to Gerd that cured his injury, but also created his demoniac form. Joseph returns to Malik's hideout and sees it trashed. Something bad gonna happen. Wolf having symptoms of demoniac. Beatrice shows up to treat him as well as shed some light on this mysterious disease. Wolf is told by Beatrice that he came in contact with demoniac blood and is going to become demoniac too. Beatrice also reveals the evolutionary process of the demoniacs. Then it fuses with your protein whatever and turns you into one. That's why medical science can't find traces of it. Also, turning into demoniac isn't becoming a monster. In fact, it is part of human evolution. Those who died are because they are weak and part of the natural selection. The strong ones will remain and continue to evolve until there will be only one strongest demoniac to rule them all, known as r0tting. She warns him about Joseph, because he will mercilessly kill those who have gone crazy. After taking the pill from Beatrice, Malik meet up with the bullies and they think they still have the upper hand. But of course the tables are turned when they see Malik transforming into a demoniac. It's payback time. Joseph detects Malik's transformation, so he rides to the school. Also, r0tting picks up Joseph's presence and tries to stop him. Malik just killed off the bullies as the first team of r0tting arrive to fight him. They are interrupted by Joseph, who is disappointed he has fallen. When Brad tries to snipe Malik, Joseph protects him and takes a critical hit. Amanda arrives, but to her horror, she recognizes Malik's voice. After realizing that the demoniac is Malik, Amanda shields him with her own body, enabling Malik to escape from r0tting, taking the wounded Joseph with him. While Amanda is sad that Malik has become demoniac, Malik now believes he is no longer powerless like before. With Malik now demoniac, Wolf takes Amanda off active duty due to her relationship with Malik. Mei Fang releases Herman since they are short of staff and tells what happened to Malik. Shocked, Herman realizes Malik's handshake with Gerd may have been the cause. Off this guy goes to find his redemption. Amanda thinks back to when she adopted Malik. While visiting an orphanage run by her aunt, she came to know about Malik because they have the same eyes and circumstances. Like her, his parents were killed in a traffic accident. Amanda realizes her promises to protect him were just to satisfy herself. She breaks orders and tries to find Malik and contacts Herman. Herman knows this small-time hacker group and threatens him to do his bidding. Malik and Joseph are hiding in an old church with Joseph badly wounded when they are found by Maggold Zarjan. Malik feels he is bad news but is frozen when tries to punch him. Zarjan is disappointed to see Joseph in this pathetic state, and that he has not changed. He is about to do something to him, but Malik breaks free and transforms into his r0tting form to fight. Even so, he is no match. Mad Joseph has enough strength to transform, but I don't think he has enough to fight him. He attacks and nearly kills both of them without even changing to his demoniac form. Zarjan wants him to heal up, and when he does, come see him. He would become the chosen one and is putting his hopes on that. Do it for the sake of his sister, Sasha. Amanda and Herman arrive just after Zarjan leaves, and Malik regains consciousness long enough for him to tell Amanda that he regrets killing the bullies. Joseph and Herman are both shaken when they see Malik lose consciousness again. Malik and Joseph are held in an experimental facility at the r0tting. Joseph slowly self-repairing, but Malik still in a coma. Victor Stasius, the director of r0tting, announces a new weapon model called Paladin that will be deployed with the formation of a new r0tting team. Because Joseph will be transferred to somewhere outside r0tting jurisdiction, this doesn't sit well with Amanda and Herman. Victor tells them they have no authority to know about this. Alvin and Brad tell Amanda and Herman that they believe the demoniacs are the result of human weapons research. Just like governments and the military developing weapons in secret, this could be one of them. When it goes berserk in public, those higher-ups aren't going to leave any evidence. Demoniacs move and evolve in such a manner that doesn't exist in nature. Herman and Amanda see a lab worker to try and find out more details about Joseph before he gets transferred. This leads them to a confidential information about r0tting. Just then, Victor comes in and arrests Herman and Amanda, fearing that the information will get out. They are thrown into prison and dismissed from r0tting. Demoniac are detected, so x0tting has to go into action without them. Brad and Alvin have a hard time fighting until the new unit with Paladin show up. Makes it look so easy taking down Demoniac. One of the members of this new unit is Clavier, and supposedly Brad's ex-girlfriend. As he recovers, Joseph has nightmarish visions of past events as Beatrice telling him they need him to do his job for Apocalypse and bring the power of God upon this world. Wolf hasn't been getting better, so he is having fun with Beatrice. He asks if he too will become a monster to be hunted and killed, but she says that it is up to him. She shows him her vision of the future, dominated by Demoniac. Mei Fang reports to Victor that Herman and Amanda haven't attempted to contact outside. She also reports Wolf's condition, and that a virus is circulating through the x0tting. Meanwhile, Alvin and Brad inspect the new Paladin machines and Brad encounters his old squad member, Clavier. A flashback that shows them in the same SWAT unit. After a tough mission, they realize each only has a bullet left. They exchange it and consider it their good luck charm. A mysterious outbreak of Demoniac has the Paladin-equipped x0tting officers dispatched to a public swimming pool. Even some of the people in x0tting have turned so. Later, infected x0tting personnel turn into Demoniac and begin to take over x0tting headquarters, cutting off communications with the outside world, while Alvin and Brad free Herman and Amanda. Amanda is worried after learning Malik has been transferred to another lab. Though they don't like where this is heading, Mei Fang has to let them understand their position. Brad and Alvin disobeyed orders to break them out. They need them alive, because who will save Malik if she's dead? Clavier and Senger head back to headquarters and are ambushed by Demoniac when they arrive, but Joseph emerges and leading the Demoniac away, and kill it. Joseph then goes to meet Beatrice, who is the source of this outbreak. He wants to know where Zarjan is, but she won't tell. Herman and others reunite with the surviving members of x0tting. They're devastated when Wolf reveals that he was instrumental in the infection of x0tting staff and the Demoniac outbreak in the city. Wolf transforms into Demoniac and leads others of his kind. Beatrice confronts Joseph and tells him that even the Bundeswehr wouldn't be able to defeat Demoniac. Mei Fang reports back to Victor that most of x0tting are dead, forcing Victor to disband the organization. He wants Mei Fang to return to her unit, as he has already sent the 3 knights. The remaining x0tting troops realize that they are probably infected from drinking contaminated water, except for Herman and Amanda who are imprisoned. They decide break out and head for the heliport. Time is running out as some of them have. Even Alvin tries hard to maintain his sanity, as he lets his team go ahead in fear he will take them down. Meanwhile, Beatrice with her demonic form defeats Joseph, but Zarjan arrives and sends her on another mission. Only a few x0tting troops make it to the helipad and are confronted Clavier and a comrade who have been ordered by Wolf to kill everybody because they're already infected. Clavier can see Amanda and Herman still normal, and is throwing caution to the wind, but her comrade fires. Nobody important died. Then Wolf appears and kills him. Brad and Clavier fight Wolf in his Blast Raider form to buy time for Amanda and Herman to fly away in the helicopter. Amanda wants to provide support, but Herman can't waste their efforts and continues to escape. Wolf takes control over Demoniac's Paladin and forces her to fight Brad. Then he burns her alive and wants Brad to save her by spilling some of his blood on her to turn her into Demoniac. Some short flashback between Brad and Clavier. Because she was always reckless to protect him, it is a reason he transferred out to x0tting. To save Clavier, Brad fires his lucky charm bullet with his demoniac power to kill her. This shocks Wolf. Alvin then joins in to kill their ex-boss, but apparently Wolf is stronger and kills them. Despite their loss, they believe they kept their pride intact. Herman and Amanda manage to escape in a helicopter, thanks to the remaining x0tting troops sacrificing themselves. As they leave, Mei Fang on board an airborne mecha and drops a bomb that destroys x0tting headquarters and part of the city to prevent further demoniac contamination. As their Puma chopper was damaged during the bomb blast, Herman gets Amanda to eject before it crashes to the ground and explodes with him still inside. Amanda is sad, but she can't give up after everyone has done for her. She detects Joseph that's still alive and pursues him. I only covered 1 to 12 episodes. If you're interested, the anime name is Blast Raider. Thank you for watching, and please don't forget to subscribe.